You know what I just realized?
What is that?
We have left 3 months and a few weeks until GFNY Mazatlan. I'm pretty nervous.
Yeah, it's the first race of the year. Do you have a coach already?
Yes, I already have. I think I have improved a lot.
So you're already on the other side. I think having a coach is the first step to know that you're in the right direction.
Yeah.
And actually, I was talking with Christian, who is the GFNY coach, and we spoke a lot about it, how the GFNY coaching plan works. Do you actually need a coach? And it was very interesting interview that I had with him.
Perfect, let's watch it. But before, make sure to like this video, comment down below all your doubts, and make sure to subscribe in the red button down below.
And share this video with your friends because they might need a coach or they might be your new training partner. Let's go and check it out. Hey Christian, how are you doing? Nice having you here at the Gruppo show.
Yeah, hey, thanks. Thanks for having me on. I'm happy to be here.
So GFNY coaching, it's for those who have been paying attention to the podcast and to the newsletter, might already know you, but for the ones that prefer to watch us on video, tell us about what you're doing and what we can get at GFNY coaching.
Yeah, so GFNY coaching, basically the idea is to help people get ready for race day. So myself and we have one other coach who's on board are offering training plans. We have coaching plans with different price ranges and different levels of coaching depending on what you're looking for. We're also writing articles about training, nutrition, course analysis, things like that. Doing a podcast as well. So it's basically like your one-stop shop to figure out how to get fast for race day.
Perfect. Before getting more into details, tell us a little bit more about you. How you get into cycling, what do you love about cycling, and so people can know you a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm kind of the typical guy who got into cycling through his dad. You know, I used to ride mountain bikes with my dad in the woods, all of that. I got addicted to racing when I was a teenager. I became a pretty good racer. I raced for the US national team for a few years, raced for a couple continental teams at the pro level, and got to travel around, race my bike, and do what I loved most for about 7 or 8 years. And then I stopped racing 6 years ago, and started focusing on coaching. So I knew pretty much that, you know, the second I stopped racing, I was going to go straight into coaching because I really love the sport. And it's always been a way for me to stay in touch with the sport. Other than, you know, working with riders, I still ride a lot, do a bit of mountain biking, do a bit of road cycling. I'm lucky to live in the southeast of France, which is a really nice place for cycling. So you can find me out on Mount Ventoux a couple times a year. And yeah, that's it. I've kind of been a cycling lifer so far.
Well, I'm jealous for that. And well, seems like you've been full circle now since getting on your bike just for fun, then doing it a little bit more. Start with a coach. I guess you had a coach when you were professional, people that were guiding you, not only on the team, but teammates, then specialists, and now learning from them, applying those things, and now teaching those things. So I think that's what really makes a good coach, because nowadays there's a lot of science there that it's not like 10 years ago that you go into the computer and there was not a lot, it's just books. But now everyone can go in their computer and see stuff of wattage, training plans, but it's I think when you have been a cyclist and you have applied those, you get also a better idea of how it feels, and when the people you're training tells you something, you really know what they're talking about.
Yeah, that's really true. And since you were a racer, you know how it is. Coaching, it's really like like science meeting art. So it's definitely true that you have to be out there reading studies, you have to be, you know, comfortable with looking at power files and all these kind of things, and you have to understand a little bit of exercise physiology and how the human body works, but you also have to understand kind of the practical side of cycling and dealing with athletes and what the most common problems that cyclists have are, kind of interpreting what they tell you and taking their feelings and turning it into a training plan. So that's definitely why I'm passionate about coaching, because it sort of lets you combine both. I think that both things are really interesting. And, you know, just like you said, having been a cyclist, I got to kind of experience the other side. I got to experience being coached, and I remember what it was like. I remember what I liked when I worked with coaches. I remember what I didn't like when I worked with coaches. And now I get to apply all of that now with the athletes I work with.
Perfect. So let's go a little bit more into details of the coaching program. You said there's a variety of items that it's like a menu where people can choose what they want. And there's also a lot of different people going to the GFNY races, like people that just got into cycling, especially these years. Now with COVID, there's so many new cyclists, and that they might just say like, oh, this looks fun, and they have never raced before. Some of them might be very fit, some of they might not. And there's also a lot of people going for the 10th year of racing and going the 10th year to GFNY at New York, for example. And we have a variety of people, and yeah, what do we have to choose from?
Well, so one question I get a lot is we've got 3 different levels of plans, and the difference is how much contact you're going to have with your coach, how much chance you have to modify the training plan week to week. Also things like nutrition, gym work, things like that. If you're with one of the more expensive plans, you're going to get a gym plan, a nutrition plan, all of this. With the basic plan, it's going to be a training plan, and then you're going to get to catch up with your coach every couple of weeks or so. So one thing people ask is, you know, what's better for a beginner or what's better for me if I'm more experienced? And I don't like to think of it that way. I like to think of it as more you have to know yourself and know what you're looking for as an athlete. If you're the kind of athlete who has a pretty strict schedule and you tend to stick to it, you might be able to go with one of the more basic plans and follow that and check in with me every couple of weeks. If you're the kind of athlete with a schedule that moves around a lot and you need constant feedback because maybe you worked late and you couldn't get your workout in and you need to know what to do the next day, then maybe sort of the mid-level or upper level plan is right for you. But all the plans are completely personalized. We don't do any pre-made plans or anything like that. So it doesn't really matter your level. Any of the 3 plans are going to work great for you because we're going to take into account what you've done in the past, your level on the bike, how much time you have to train, all those sort of things that are really important in making a training plan. And, you know, like you said, we've got all sorts of people who are coming to do GFNY, and maybe you're a complete beginner, but I still can't give you a plan just based on that, because you could be a beginner who's run a marathon in the past, or you could be a beginner who's coming off the couch and hasn't done much sport for the last 5 or 10 years. And so, you know, I think the core of everything we're doing is that it's personalized and it's designed around your unique schedule, the race you're going to do as well, because of course the different races have different demands, and just making the training fit around your own personal physiology.
Sweet. And I think now it's a perfect time of the year because we're all with the New Year's resolutions and getting our goals. And one thing for me, and correct me if I'm wrong or if it was different for you, but when I was racing, this is all what I did. You know, just all my day, my 24 hours were based around training and being fit and racing my bike, and I had the whole time of the day just for doing that. But now that I'm retired and I have a job, it's different. Now I cannot just get on my bike and go out and do 6-7 hours. I have a limited time. Some days it's 1 hour, some days it's 2 hours. And I think here's when it gets more important to really get the most out of that 30, 40 minutes, whatever you can do on the day, because it's more about quality than quantity. Otherwise, when you can just ride and ride, you're gonna get better because you're riding a lot. Still, it's better if you get a coach. But when you're limited time, let's say now it's we're in January and we want to focus for New York. We have just X amount of days, and we need to really squeeze the best to get our goals there, to accomplish them.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, I think that you and I have experienced the other side of things and being able to ride a bike all day. For people who've never experienced that, it's great, but you don't have to be quite as focused. And exactly like you said, when you are getting in 40-minute workouts, hour-long workouts, you have to be really focused with the time you have. And coaching is really going to help you do that, because you're going to have someone who knows what you need to do and who's going to guide you and give you the correct workouts and all of that. And you're not going to waste time worrying about it. You're also spending a little bit of money to not have to stress, not have to find workouts on the internet, not have to think of workouts yourself, and just have them there in your Training Peaks account ready for you when you jump on the bike. So it's kind of like, it's avoiding wasted time, it's avoiding decision fatigue, it's avoiding you having to make a lot of decisions that maybe you don't want to make after a long day of work, and it just simplifies the whole process. As far as when to start, I mean, yeah, I think we all made it through the holidays, some of us in better shape than others. And now everybody's motivated for the season. So, it's a really good time to start for basically everyone, because if you're training for New York, you're training for an event in the late spring, you've got the perfect amount of time to train. You've got enough time to make a good change to your body and a good change in your fitness. But at the same time, you should be motivated, and you should be able to carry that motivation all the way through to May. But even if you're racing earlier or later in the year, now is the time when cyclists should be putting in kind of the hardest work of the season. We don't have races to kind of distract us, and we can really be working hard, putting in some good miles on the weekend, some focused work, indoors or outdoors during the week. So yeah, I think it's the perfect time to start. And I know right now a lot of people are excited, and we've got our New Year's resolutions, we're registering for races, all of that. And another great thing about coaching is it can be kind of a kick in the pants to get you to register for that race that you've been wanting to do and you weren't sure you could do, or maybe you've done the half distance in the past and now you're ready to go for the full distance. It can really be that thing that kind of pushes your motivation over the edge.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's like, okay, now when you don't have a coach, it's like, yeah, I might go. Oh, it's a bit chilly. But when you have someone, when you know that someone is watching you, then it's like, okay, I need to do it. Sometimes that works, and that's completely fine. And what about, what do I need? I mean, besides a bicycle, do I need a heart rate monitor, power meter, smart trainer, computer, apps? Nowadays, it can get so complicated. But what if I only have my bike? Can I also get a training plan?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, really, we can do the old school way, or we can do the new school way. We can work with power, with, different training programs, with all this stuff, or we can just have a bike, time, perceived exertion, and all of that. And right now I'm working with people on both ends of the spectrum. People who get started and all they have is their bike. I do tell them, as you get more into training, you might want to do something like get a heart rate monitor, and I'll show you how to use that, and we'll start using that in your training. Luckily, heart rate monitors are quite cheap and easy to get nowadays. It's not an obligation to start, but I think most people do enjoy having it once they learn the benefits of it. But things like power, things like a smart trainer, all of that, it's not required at all. And I know that, just me personally, I did train with a power meter when I was a pro, and I was pretty scientific in my training. But now I love to just use a speedometer and a heart rate monitor. And I think that, using a little bit less data for some people works better. Some people mentally thrive off the simplicity. So it really comes down to you. If all you've got is a bike, don't worry at all. We're going to make it work. And on the other end, if you've got a power meter, a smart trainer, you already use Training Peaks, you put everything on Strava, that's fine too. We're used to working with people like that.
Yeah, because now it can get sometimes overwhelming when you when you're new to the sport and then you're riding with your friend that is more experienced, and then you see him with all the gadgets and you just want to catch up, and you don't, people that don't even have clip-on shoes and they still ride good and they still have the passion, and that's pretty good that we can basically cover everyone, because when you go to a GFNY race, no matter if you have a $5,000 bike or you have a $500 bike, what I love is that everyone goes there and puts the same passion into the race, and it's great that we can guide everyone, no matter if you want to get into the podium or you just want to finish the race and not be dead after the race and just can enjoy the after party.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And when it comes to all the gadgets and training and stuff like that, one thing I always say is like it's better to do something simple really well than to do something complicated but do it badly. So adding all that complexity, that can be good if you really know how to use it and you really are at the point in your training that you're benefiting from it. But for a lot of people, they're going to benefit by learning their body, learning, perceived exertion, learning how they feel, learning to do intervals, and learning how workouts should feel. You're going to benefit a lot from learning to be a cyclist. You don't necessarily need to jump straight into the deep end of having all this gear and having all this stuff. And yeah, that's one of the beauties of GFNY. It is a race. It's a competition. At the front, you're going to have people going really, really fast, but you're also going to have people who are there just to finish or just to better their time from the year before. And, GFNY coaching, it's an extension of GFNY. It's an extension of the whole idea of GFNY. So we really want to get everybody involved, which, we welcome anybody to the coaching, but we also want people reading our articles. We want people checking out the podcasts and just kind of, embracing all the ways they can make themselves a little bit better as a cyclist.
Awesome. So last but not least, what do you recommend for, as we talk, people very excited now, they just listen to you and say, okay, this sounds interesting. Where do they start? Where do they go? Of course, we're going to put the links on the description down below, but what do you recommend them besides just clicking on the link and getting to see the plans?
Yeah, so if you click on that link, you're going to go over to coaching.gfny.com. There you can check out some of the articles we've written. You're going to find links to the podcast and then also details about the training plan. One thing I want to say is my email is really easy to find. It's christian@gfny.com, but it's also there on the website. And I really encourage people to reach out to me. Like, don't be shy, reach out, ask questions, set some time to talk to me on the phone if you have questions about your unique situation. And I think that's the best thing to do, is to just go ahead and reach out, start a personal relationship, start feeling comfortable, because, if I'm going to coach you, you want to know me a little bit. I want to know you a little bit. And that's the best place to start. So yeah, go over to the website, check out a little bit about the coaching, and then shoot me an email, because I'll be happy to help. And, I don't want anybody to feel like they have to understand exactly how coaching works before they sign up. They're free to email me and say, like, I don't really understand this, but I think it could benefit me. So just tell me about it. And I'm happy to do that for everybody.
And one last question. Well, it's actually a two-part question. That's actually three now. One, can you prepare someone for a specific GFNY? Second, do I need to be registered to a GFNY to be able to get the GFNY coaching? And third, what if I want to get ready for a different race of a different brand? Because there's now so many different races around the world. What if can you coach me for a different event?
So you don't need to be registered. That's fine. You don't need to be registered for a race. We prefer that you are thinking about doing a GFNY race. And of course, I'm not going to push you to sign up, but the training is going to be based around all of your goals, but especially GFNY. So if you're preparing for GFNY Vaujany, but you have another couple of races that you're training for in the meantime, of course, you're welcome to do those races. I'm still going to coach you, and we're going to get you there to be fit on race day. But, the idea is that you're training for Vaujany, you're training for Mazatlan, you're training for one of our events. After the event is over, you don't have to stop. You can keep working with us. If you've liked your improvement, you can keep working for other races, for the next GFNY you do, things like that. And yeah, definitely all the training is going to be based around your goals. So if you come to me and you say I'm doing, GFNY New York, maybe your training is going to be different than if you say I'm doing GFNY Vojani, and everything's going to be totally geared towards your goal event.
Yeah, exactly. I think we can say that we specialize obviously on our events on GFNY because we also know them better. And if we haven't, because I don't think you have gone to Bali, I haven't gone to Bali, but we know the people that organize it, that goes there, that know the route, that have been there, and we can guide people through that specific event. We know the climbs, as you said, New York, it's very tough. It's very tough. Vojani, it's extremely tough. Both have a lot of climbing, but it's a very different kind of climbing, a very different kind of effort, and it's going to be a very different kind of training as well. So we know more our events, obviously, so it should be the best way. And as you said, when the race is finished, I will encourage people to actually keep going. One of the things that most people say is like, okay, I just finish the race and then throw the bike into the garage and for a couple of months, but there's where you can take a little rest and then ramp up your fitness from there in a big time after the big blocks of training before. And it doesn't need to be I just finished GFNY and New York, and next weekend I still need to do a 100-mile training ride.
Yeah, I think that definitely once people experience coaching, they get interested in continuing to do it because they feel themselves getting stronger. They feel themselves changing, and they don't want to give up on that. They don't want to lose everything they've worked hard for. So I definitely encourage people to do that. You get done with the race, you take a little bit of rest, you take some time to train, but maybe a little easier, enjoy it more, and then you figure out what your next goal is. I think that cycling is something we all get addicted to, and really once you've experienced it, you want to do it again. And that goes double if you've had a good training plan and you've gotten really strong and now you're crushing your friends that used to crush you. You really get addicted to it. So what I tell people is, set a goal, get to that goal, and then see what happens. But I promise you, after race day, you're just going to want that feeling again. And then, sign up for the next race, make the next plan, talk to me, and we'll start working on what the next goal is. And I know, as you know from being a pro, it's always nice to have multiple goals in a season. It's of course, not every race can be the biggest race of your life, but when you only have one race day the whole season that you're looking forward to, that's a little stressful. It's always nice to have maybe 2 races, 3 races. So I really encourage people to set up a season where they maybe do 2 GFNYs, and those are your peak races for the year. I think we've got really good opportunities to say do a race in May and do a race in September, and that's a perfect season. That's time to train, peak, be your best in May, take a little break, build up, and then do the same thing again, even stronger in September.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, Christian. I think this is very, very insightful. We get to know you a little bit better, and we also get to know GFNY coaching better. And I think for the next time, we can see the comments and see the questions, and maybe go into some more details, either on nutrition, either on training, either on a specific race. So everyone that is listening, please let us know on the comments below, what do you want us to talk about on the next time, because we're here for you, and we want to tell you with our experience what we know, and that you just get better, faster, and enjoy riding overall.
Thanks for having me on, and it was good to talk to you. Thanks to all the listeners, and I'll be back soon. So chat again soon.
Thanks, Christian. Goodbye.
Ciao.
Thank you very much, Christian. That was very insightful, and hopefully we can have you here next time to take an even deeper dive onto the GFNY coaching program.
And as always, we want to give you something, so all you have to do is comment down below if you have any question or ideas about training or coaching, and a lucky winner will have this coffee mug.
Well, not that one, just a similar one. So that was all for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to give us a like, share this video with your friends, comment down below to be participating on the raffle of the coffee mug, and subscribe to the channel. I hope to see you here on the next episode.